Hello, welcome back to my channel and to my Fighting Fantasy Gamebook retrospective. And now we've reached book 21, Trial of Champions. And dunna, we're in sequel land, the first sequel, direct sequel of the series. This is a return to the world of FANG and Baron Succumvit's dungeon, Deathtrap Dungeon. We're going back there for a second time. Now, that's not how the book starts. Ian Livingstone decides to start with this kind of prologue. It's quite well written, actually, where you start in media res, in the middle of things. You're sort of on a boat, a galley-slave, you're sort of doing the oars and stuff. And then you get to this island called Blood Island, which is run by Lord Carnus. And Lord Carnus has basically paid for all these slaves. And you're going to fight to the death, and whoever wins goes to Deathtrap Dungeon. It's exactly the same premise that Ian Livingstone will use at the start of his latest book, The Dungeon on Blood Island. So if you've read this book, you'll be very familiar with what happens in this latest book that Ian Livingstone's done. And what it means is that the first part of the book, like the first quarter of the book, you're in this kind of tournament with these guys, killing each other to the death. To be honest, I got a bit impatient with that. I got a bit bored of it. I just wanted to get to Deathtrap Dungeon already. I didn't really see the point of that whole big lead-up. Anyway, you leave Blood Island, you're the victor, and you feel that you want to get revenge for your colleagues in the arena. And so you're going to determine that once you've got through Deathtrap Dungeon, you're going to kill Lord Carnus. So you go into Deathtrap Dungeon, and it's exactly what you'd expect from the original book. It's exactly the same. You go in, you meet loads of creatures. This time, instead of finding jewels, you find gold rings, and there's a tortuously worked out safe path to get to the end. I was a bit annoyed with the safe path, actually, because a key part of the safe path is you picking up an object, which is a phial of red dust, in this witch's emporium, completely arbitrarily, and then not opening it at the time when you find it, but opening it right at the end of the game, and it transports you through space. It's a bit harsh to get through a Deathtrap dungeon, but anyway. So you do the same as you did in the first book. You get through to the end, you meet the trial master at the end, you've got to have the right number of rings, the right sequence to put them in, and then you get through. And then you come outside, and you quite simply, really, kill Lord Carnus and you get your revenge. Even though the safe path is well worked out, you still have to take on some quite difficult battles with very high skill scores amongst your opponents to get through it. It's quite harsh, really. There's one bit where you kill someone, then they resurrect as a bone demon. It's like, bloody hell, give us a chance, Ian. So, if you're a Deathtrap Dungeon fan and you just want more of the same, this book is catnip, right? It's great. But, and I have to be honest here, I'm trying to be very fair in these reviews. We've just had 4 great books in a row. I mean, like, the series has hit a really good run. You've had Appointment with Fear, Rebel Planet, Demons of the Deep, and Sword of the Samurai. 4 really excellent titles. And then you get this. And to me, it feels like we've gone backwards. We've had 4 games that are really taking the formula and doing something different with it and pushing the boundaries. Now we've gone back to square one. We've just gone back to the old dungeons that started off the series in the first 6 or 7 books. I feel like it's a backwards step. I know that there's lots of Fighting Fantasy fans saying, hey, look, this is what we want. We want Ian Livingstone to go back to that. But I don't really. I enjoyed this. It rattled along. It's got some fun bits in it. It's not very colourfully written. It's rather straightforwardly written. But it does the job. It's a fun adventure. It's a good dungeon. Lots of good bits in it. But I just felt like, oh, we're going backwards now. I thought this series was moving forwards. I thought it was doing something different. And now it's just gone back to more of the same. And that's disappointing to me, I've got to be honest. The artwork, unusually, the cover and the interior artwork, is done by the same guy, Brian Williams. It's a very light and bright cover, quite distinct from Ian McCaig's artwork for the Deathtrap Dungeon. And it actually bases it on an event in Lord Carnas's arena on Blood Island, rather than in the dungeon. It's a nice light and bright cover, I like it. I wish something more moody and atmospheric. The interior artwork is fine, it's good fun, lots of good creatures and monsters. It's not got that dark, gothic, surreal nightmare feel of Ian McCaig, which I miss. But it does its job. It's okay. I like this skeleton riding through the caverns on his skeleton horse. That's great. Yeah, there's some good fun. The artwork is a bit like the book. It does its job. It's fine. There's nothing very really exciting or different or boundary breaking about this book, and I kind of wanted there to be. For me, it's a bit of a letdown. I'm sorry about that. I know there's many fans of this book out there, but I would give it 6 out of 10. Thanks very much.